Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Scully,
Yes?
marry me.
I love you and I like you.
I love you and I like you.
I love that woman. I love her more than sharks love blood.
I love you.
You don't.
Hello, I'm Tristan and The Girl,
And I'm the girl.
and this is Nerd Nuptial episode 24. That's actually my favorite number.
Is it?
Yes. You know, they always ask you, like, when you're a kid, they always seem to ask you, you know, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite number? I feel like the only reason why we have these favorites is because adults just pester us as children, demanding that we choose one above all others.
Yeah, I have a favorite number too.
What's your favorite number?
16.
16. Is that because you loved the age of 16?
It was a good year.
It was a good year?
It's a good year. Surprisingly.
You know, we've gone all this time talking about favorite numbers, and you haven't asked me why 24 is my
Well,
favorite number.
why is 24 a favorite number?
Can you guess why?
Is it because of the television show 24?
That is exactly why.
I knew it. Well, we have no secrets anymore.
I can't have anything in my life exist without it relating back to TV or movies.
Well, I don't have like a connection to 16 really, other than I like the number.
The age of 16.
Yeah, I guess. Or
okay.
just the number. I don't know.
Sidetracked, right out of the gate. Like I said, this is
Might be one of those shows.
This is going to be one of those shows. Yeah, this is Nerd Nuptial episode 24, and we have a great show for you today because what we're going to be talking about today is Platonic male-female pairings in TV and film. And this sounds like quite a broad topic, but we actually, as we were developing the list of our favorites, it's actually kind of a smaller list.
It really is. And I guess it kind of brings up the question of whether males and females can be friends, just friends.
Well, I think that's a big thing because if we opened it up to pairings, you know, like pairings in TV and film, oh, the list would be endless.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like it would just go on, and like, you know, God forbid you open up the can of buddy cop movies, you know.
Right.
You know, it just go on, Lethal Weapon, blah, 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 you know, stuff like that. And so we decided to keep it to platonic pairings of male-female characters. And before we get into that, I'm really excited for the rest of this summer.
There's a lot of good things coming.
We're in a post-Independence Day world right now, and I am so excited because next weekend we're going to get to see Star Trek Beyond.
Pretty excited.
I am thoroughly excited for that movie because it's funny, we have some friends coming up to visit, and you said I said, I was like, oh yeah, you know, like like have them come up. I haven't seen them in forever. They're coming up from Texas. And you said, okay, well, they're going to come up this weekend, like this specified weekend. You tell me the weekend. I was like,
Hold on.
hold the phone. They're going to have to reschedule because
Join us.
or join us because Star Trek Beyond comes out that weekend. But they're leaving that morning, wicked early in the morning. And so we'll be able to see it around lunchtime.
Well, on a Sunday,
On a
because
Sunday.
that's when we go.
People, like, I posted my ticket without sensitive information online, saying I was finally able to get tickets, and several people chimed in and said, I see you got your old man early bird showing for Sunday.
Yeah, jackpot.
Yeah, that's the go-to time for me to go see a movie. And not only that, between, like, right after Star Trek Beyond, I'm going to be going to Vegas.
Yeah.
And so many people have asked me, hey, is the girl going to Vegas? Like, even family members have asked us if you were going to go.
Yeah. Like, no, that's just for you.
Yeah.
It'd be a waste of money on me.
Yeah, you repeatedly say that it'd be a waste
Yeah.
of money because you're not a Star Trek fan.
But you'll have a great time, and I'm excited for you.
And then the day that I get back from Vegas.
Yeah, that was a conflict. That was where I was like, you know that something very important is coming out while you're gone.
That's right, and that's Suicide Squad.
Yes.
It was a struggle because I'm going to be leaving Vegas early in the morning on Sunday. I'm going to get back in the afternoon, and then hopefully I'll get in because you never know.
I was going to
With
say,
flights,
I
you know,
told
like,
you
it
I'm
could
going
be-
without you if not.
Which is not true. So I'm getting in like in the afternoon, and then we have like a 6:40 showing of Suicide Squad, and then we're going to record about it.
Yeah. And you're going to be exhausted.
I'm going to be dead on Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to be absolutely exhausted, and it's going to be it's going to be an exhausting experience, but a worthwhile one, because we've been talking about Suicide Squad for a very long time. Actually, I think the first topic that we actually talked about as podcasting husband and wife was Suicide Squad.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. At least it was like our intro topic when we started talking about it.
And we started talking about the trailers and everything like that, and that weaved into The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this movie better live up to our own personal hype.
I was going to say, we have very great expectations for both those movies.
Speaking of expectations, one thing that I do want to tell all you guys is that by the time that you're hearing this, our own John Mills has posted a review of the new Ghostbusters film, the all-female cast, not a reboot, not a remake, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is. If you've listened to his show Words with Nerds, you've heard him bash the movie for the past 6 months, him and Craig. But he actually went and saw it because a listener bought him a ticket to go see it because he said he would not spend money on it.
That's funny. That's really funny.
And he went and saw it. So please check out the review at thenerdparty.com/blog. You'll find the entry there. It's a good read. It's a very honest read. And I think you guys will appreciate it. And so I'm hoping that our expectations will not inhibit our enjoyment for the movie.
Yeah, I hope so too. Because I think, if anything, we have very high expectations going into it.
Yes.
Which I think is a good thing.
That can be dangerous, though.
It's true. Like with Star Wars.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking of, is that, like, I think The Force Awakens is a great example because it's on a franchise that's so unbelievably high on a pedestal already. You know, like, how do you live up to Star Wars? And a lot of people, not necessarily me, believe that the prequels couldn't even live up to the originals. And wait, no, I do believe that.
I was gonna say, really?
But I wasn't trying to bash the prequels. But yeah, and you know, like, but with The Force Awakens happening, everybody's like, okay, you know, like, if we're gonna go on, if we're gonna have a new trilogy, this better live up to the name. And so I went in expecting to like it, but my expectations were too high. And so with Suicide Squad, I'm trying to temper my expectations.
Yeah, trying to reserve a little bit of, I don't know. It's hard though, because we're so excited.
I feel like I feel like you will enjoy it as long as it's a better movie in your mind than Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I feel like a lot of people, a lot of DC fans will have a collective sigh of relief if Suicide Squad is better than Batman v Superman. Even if it's not better, it's the same quality, but yet it's received better.
Yeah.
I think DC fans will be like, okay.
One in the win column.
Yeah.
DC.
Like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we got another 5-star review.
That's right. We did. Thank you guys so much. We're getting closer to our 100 goal. I don't even know why it's calling a goal, because we're just going to keep asking you after 100.
That's right.
But we're up to 95 ratings now. And Joe, the bio teacher, that's his name.
Woo, go teachers.
I know. And he even talked about you being a teacher in the review.
Yeah.
Gave us a lovely review. He said that he loved us and that he hates exercising and driving, but yet we make those two events much more palatable.
Well, we hate both those things too.
It's
so
true.
we have something in common.
It's very, very true. God forbid they ever invent an exercise car, or I guess it's called a bicycle. I guess that would be it, or maybe like we had,
Exercise car.
or there was we were living in an apocalyptic world and we all had to drive those cars that the Flintstones did, you know, where their feet's in the bottom and they're
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you so much, Joe, the bio teacher. We got your episode suggestion. We'll definitely put that into the bank.
Yeah.
And everybody else should go to iTunes and give us a review. If you give us a 5-star review, we'll mention you on the podcast, just like Joe, the bio teacher. And one thing that you can also do like Joe, be cool like Joe, by giving us an episode suggestion. We love episode suggestions.
Because sometimes we're like, what are we going to podcast about?
Yeah, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to muse on? What are we going to chew on?
Yeah.
And if you guys help us find something to chew on, it makes our lives that much easier.
Absolutely. And you get to hear what you want to hear.
Yeah. And so you can go to thenerdparty.com/contact, or you can just email us straight up at contact@thenerdparty.com.
Straight up.
Straight up with a twist. All right, I hear that's booze talk. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our topic.
Okay.
Now, I can't even read your handwriting, so how about you just read that to me? It's too far away from me.
Oh, yeah, I made my list again because that's me. All right, so we were talking about characters who are pairings but don't have a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really hard to do.
It is really hard to do.
I feel like a lot of times they start off as friends, but eventually through the series they will, end up together in some way romantically, even if it's just like a one night stand or something like that.
Just you talking about that, because when we were coming up with this list, we started fumbling into will they or won't they couples. Mm-hmm. Will they or won't they couples are very different from the couples that we are discussing.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about Frasier, and I was like, oh, well, you could talk about Roz and Frasier. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
They slept together.
Yeah.
Which was always
it's
super
true.
weird.
Or X-Files,
yeah.
Scully and Mulder, and they started off, but then it becomes something very different.
Yeah, I think that was very much a will they or won't they.
I know,
right
but that's the hard part is
it's
trying
true.
to figure out, yes, they're good power couples or whatever, but they, when there's romantic involvement or physical involvement, then they did not make the cut.
Well, just like in Seinfeld, Jerry and Elaine, some people use them as an example, but they slept together in season 2, and then they just never talked about it again. And it's just there's so many times that this happens, and I feel like it just feeds into the trope of, well, can a man and a woman just be friends? And do you remember the ad campaigns for Will and Grace?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, so before the sitcom came out, I remember they had a huge push for Will and Grace. They would show the two characters out in the world, just being friends, and the tagline was, can a man and a woman truly be friends together and just friends and everything like that? And blah, 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 blah. Like, that was their big push, and they marketed that for months. And then boom, the show airs, and it's like, oh, Will is gay.
Right, and they were in a relationship before he came out, too, in the show.
I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, so again, they would not be in that category.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So strange. But I think we came up with some pretty good pairings.
I think so, too.
So how about you give us the first one on the list?
Okay, let's start with, well, since we talked about DC, let's talk about Marvel. So Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Hawkeye and Black Widow. Okay, the reason I came up with this one because even though we're not big Marvel people, I appreciate Marvel. This couple, like these two people, there's with every kind of relationship, whether it's male female, male male, female female, it doesn't really matter whether they're platonic, completely platonic on screen or not. People online or in real life are going to quote unquote ship them, like they're gonna want them to come together. Mm-hmm. And Hawkeye and Black Widow were definitely a big pairing online where people wanted them to be together. Like they had their headcanon selected where they're just like, oh yeah, no, they're clearly together. Marvel's not brave enough to show it. And then we have Age of Ultron come out.
Right.
And it confirms that they are absolutely 100% not together.
I appreciated that.
I did too.
Because he has a family and a wife and, like Black Widow respects that, and
she's a part of that world.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciated that.
I loved it. I thought it was great, and I think there was what kind of fanned the flames before Ultron came out was in Winter Soldier. She was wearing a necklace that had an arrow on it, and so people were like, "Well, that's clearly her professing her love for Hawkeye."
Just grasping at straws, trying to figure out a connection.
But yeah, so when that happened, I was super grateful, and it warmed my cockles when I saw Black Widow like truly involved in the kids' lives, where like the kids knew her, loved her, and she was at home, like she was the only one who knew about his family. Mm-hmm. I really appreciated that because it continued their relationship as in being super close,
right,
and special to one another, and I really like that. I
did too. Yeah, Civil War. It was interesting because even when they were fighting, it wasn't like they were really fighting. It was more like teasing. Didn't you kind of get that impression a little bit?
They handled that much differently than I thought they were going to. Like when I saw them when they released on who was going to be on what side, and I saw that they were on opposite sides, I was like, oh well, of course they're going to put them on opposite sides because that gives you drama. That gives you intense drama.
Sure.
And they did not use that as a dramatic point whatsoever. They're just like, you're with that side, I'm with this side. Let's pull our punches. And,
came out of retirement for this kind of, I don't know, just that kind of deal.
And I thought that was, it's not what I expected, but I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want them to try to destroy their friendship.
And I didn't think it needed to be a main point.
No, there was a lot of main points
in
Civil War.
They didn't need another one.
No, they did not.
Yeah. So I like that pairing.
Yeah, and I think that kind of shows that even though the fans are screaming for something, it doesn't always mean that it's what's best.
True. Sometimes, I feel like we as fans really do think that we know that's what's best, but sometimes when we see something done differently, you're like, oh, that's cool, that's different. Yeah, so you have to kind of like open your mind to that.
Right. Yes, and you got to realize that the writers have been thinking about this and living this much longer and much more in depth than you ever have.
Right. And they might have plans for, other characters in the future or whatever. Or like, Black Widow was more like, with the Hulk and, Bruce Banner and stuff.
That's a whole different story.
Well,
right
I
there.
know, but I'm just saying that, there are different storylines in mind when they made Hawkeye and Black Widow friends instead of romantically involved.
All right, so what's next on the list?
All right, Joey and Phoebe from Friends.
Joey and Phoebe from Friends. I unabashedly love Friends.
Yeah, I actually didn't get into it until probably what would you say, a year
or so ago? Yeah, yeah, when it came on Netflix.
Yeah, I was not allowed to watch Friends.
No?
Growing up.
Too sexual?
Yes, they were all sleeping with each other, so that was not allowed in my household.
Yeah, change partners more than they change bed sheets, apparently.
Ew.
Yeah, that just sounded kind of gross. I had a health teacher who would say that all the time.
Ew.
She would say she hated television that promoted promiscuity.
Okay.
She's a health teacher.
Well, yeah.
And she's showing us pictures of syphilis. And she's like, you're not watching Melrose Place, are you? I was like, no, ma'am, I'm not. Because they trade partners more often than they change their sheets. And I'm like, ew. I had the same reaction as you.
That's so weird.
Anyway, Joey and Phoebe do not have syphilis, as far as I know.
Oh my god.
So
why would you say that?
I think it's true. It's factual.
Okay.
That's why I said it.
All right.
But Joey and Phoebe, so if you look at the pantheon of 10 seasons of Friends, you had, Ross and Rachel, of course, get together. You had, you even had Joey and Rachel get together at one time. That was weird. And you had Chandler and Monica, of course, get married. And then in a flashback episode, you saw Phoebe and Ross almost get together. Mm-hmm. So there was at least some attraction there. And who did Chandler almost hook up with in the flashback? Do you remember?
I think he was at least trying to be with Rachel.
Was it?
Yeah, he was interested in her.
But the only parent...
Or maybe he did. Maybe he did make out with her.
I think
he did.
Something happened.
Yeah, something like that.
In that flashback episode. Mm-hmm. But the only pairing that did not happen at any time in a flashback or wherever was Joey and Phoebe.
Yeah.
Out of everybody crossing the streams... Joey and Phoebe were the only ones, and that's actually my favorite relationship on the show.
Yeah, it's just sweet. I like it a lot. It's just a fun, that they care about each other, mm-hmm. but that doesn't mean that they're attracted to one another.
But they always joked about being attracted to each other.
And flirting with each other.
Yeah, and I think but that's the distinction, is that they always joked about it, they inferred it.
Right.
But yet nothing.
Backup husband type, thing.
That kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
yeah. She's like, well, of course, like Joey.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But it makes it even better, and this is totally in my headcanon, is that I read in an interview one time, I can't remember whose idea was it. I don't know if it was Matt LeBlanc's or Lisa Kudrow's, or maybe both of them, I can't remember. But at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, when they knew they were wrapping up, when they knew it was going to be their final season, they desperately asked the writers to write in a subplot where Joey and Phoebe were secretly sleeping together the entire show.
Yes.
Whenever they weren't with somebody or in a committed relationship, they were with each other. like one episode they would just like the whole gang would just walk in on them and they'd be in bed together like oh you know? I that is in my head canon. Like
you just consider that part of the show.
I consider that a part of the show
because I said it.
I don't know why that
That's
pleases
so
me
funny.
so much because I'm very hypocritical right now because we're talking about male female platonic pairings that
Right.
we love, and I secretly ship that. So yeah.
That's really funny. Yeah, whenever I have a play going on and there's like a friendship, like a male-female friendship in the play, my kids always make up this like secret relationship of like, you know, they're in a relationship and I'm like, oh really? And like, oh yeah. And they're like, I don't know, just like make up this whole backstory for their character that, you know, isn't shown on the stage. And it always makes me laugh because it's just like our nature.
It's our nature to
Yeah.
pair each other off in a romantic way. Like it's like you can't even go through school where like this, like you say, like the teacher says like, okay, everybody, you know, like pair up for the assignment, and people will be like looking around like, okay, who am I pairing up with? Because I might hook up with them later. I don't know. Hook up is not the word I was
gonna
looking
say,
for.
I don't want to think about that
Hookup
when I
was
say that in class.
Not the example. Wrong word choice. Completely wrong word
I'll
choice.
say, what were you like in high school?
I was very tame in high school. There was no hooking up. But yeah, and so I love that pairing because I think they're both kind of the quote unquote ditzy ones of the show.
Right.
And I think that just makes them even more lovable that
Absolutely.
they're drawn to each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Another one we have is Don Draper and Peggy Olson from Mad Men.
Also, my favorite relationship of the show.
Yeah.
Like continually, like we're developing a theme here where it's my favorite relationship of the show or the film. Mm-hmm. It's Don and what do you love about Don and Peggy?
Well, I really like that in the very first episode, she felt like she had to be the secretary that was, you know, involved with him. Like she just thought that was the way it was, and he immediately turned her down. And then from that point forward, it was very much so like this relationship where they were, well, I mean, making each other better, but not always in a constructive way. But when things went terribly, terribly wrong, they were kind of each other's lifeline. So like when they were in prison or something, that would be their call because they knew that they would keep each other's secrets and kind of cry with each other and literally cry with each other. And it's just interesting to see that relationship where no sex was involved. And Don slept with everyone. And so when you have like basically the strongest male-female relationship in the show.
And sadly the healthiest.
Right. Be this platonic pairing. It was just interesting because he didn't really have any other example of that in his life. Other than I was gonna say,
yeah, I was open my mouth.
Other
I was just like,
his technically not really ex-wife Anna.
Oh, I wasn't even gonna mention that.
No,
because we're laying out three here.
Oh, all in
with the horn dog that is Don Draper.
Okay.
He at least has 3 solid relationships with women that are completely platonic and not romantic in nature whatsoever.
Okay, so Peggy Olson,
Peggy,
Anna Draper.
Yeah, like for those of you who don't know the show, like, you know, Peggy's kind of his protege. Anna is technically his wife, but not really, but it was completely platonic.
Right.
And then you have Joni.
Oh, yeah.
They have a very solid relationship.
They do.
But there have been periods where they piss each other off and she's sick of him.
And I even think in the first episode there was kind of like an insinuation that maybe something had happened, or there maybe was thoughts of something happening.
Or maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah.
So I don't think we're giving Dawn enough credit.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be the first time because.
But anyway, back to Peggy.
Yeah, let's talk about Peggy.
Because you know that's definitely the relationship that has the most focus on it. The male female pairing, and you know Peggy is Dawn's protege, and I think the moments where they're human, the moments where they really bare their soul to each other and don't judge each other, I think are the purest moments and the most enjoyable moments. Like when she quits to move on to another job, you know, like he doesn't yell at her, he doesn't scream, he just stops for a second. He sits down, he stops for a second, he grabs her hand and kisses it for a long time, and then she just starts to cry.
Right.
And then there was another time when he finds out that Anna, has passed, and they he goes on an all-night bender, and she takes care of him, and they sleep on his couch, but they sleep holding it, not holding each other, but I don't know, on each other.
Right.
And it was just one of those very intimate moments where you knew nothing romantic was going to happen.
No.
And that's what made those moments enjoyable, because you knew that the writers weren't going to screw it up, because they know what they had.
Exactly. Yeah. Another relationship that's very similar to Don and Peggy is Liz Lemon and Jack Donaghy from 30 Rock.
That's right. We love this show. I think this is a show that kind of goes up and down.
And then down.
And then down and down and down. But the funny moments are really, really funny.
Yeah. And I love Tina Fey.
Yeah.
So.
But the not so funny moments are really terrible. But with this relationship, I think that's spot on. I never really thought of that before, about how, Jack and Liz from 30 Rock are definitely the humorous version of Don and Peggy.
Yeah. It's interesting. And it's almost like you don't necessarily always see the female be more of the mentor very often.
Yeah.
When I think about relationships like this, it's usually, or it's tainted with some sexual overtones going on.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never really thought of that before, but maybe that's kind of telling, is that, you look at this list, or, you look at us trying to make a list. I challenge you right now, to make, listeners at home, make a list in your head of mentor-mentee relationships on TV and film, and try to tell me where the mentor was a woman.
Yeah, I mean, we could be wrong.
We could be wrong, and maybe we're just not exposed to it, but the sheer fact that we can't think of anything is kind of telling. Although, when I was doing some research online earlier, I did see something from The Good Wife, I think.
Okay.
I think I saw a relationship where, I can't remember their names, but I could be wrong because I don't watch the show. But anyway, so Liz and Jack, Jack, I think it's great that we didn't have, the writers knew exactly to go over the top with their non-sexualism.
Because no one wants to see that.
No one wants to see those characters get together. They wouldn't be, those types of characters would not be attracted to each other.
No.
It wouldn't work because of their protege, kind of relationship. And there was one moment in particular that absolutely personified this relationship, and I loved it for it. Because what happened is that they were estranged for a while. They were very angry with each other. And then there was a scene towards the end of the episode where they reconciled, and they saw each other across Times Square. And so they saw each other, and they started to run towards each other. It started to go in slow motion. Orchestral music was building, and there was just this really romantic moment. And as soon as they got close to each other, they stuck out their hand and started shaking each other's hand, saying, I'm so happy to see you again as a professional. And the other person's like, I can't wait to see you on Monday.
That's awesome.
And the camera started spinning around the couple. Times Square was spinning around them. And the writers and producers knew exactly what they were doing. They were making fun of that trope.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that it's so great that they didn't give in to that, that they didn't try to make it something or taint it in some way where, no, this is just purely a friendship. I love it when Liz goes in and complains or vents to Jack, and Jack's always trying to make her better, or vice versa, or Liz is always trying to get him out of his relationship troubles or whatever. So it's a nice relationship where they're supportive of one another, and they're not having to have sex to have a relationship.
Yeah. And what was interesting also in the show is that some of his girlfriends in the show didn't like his relationship with her. But it wasn't because they thought that he was attracted to her. It was just he spent too much time with her. He had too much of himself invested in her.
Yeah.
Which I thought was completely valid.
Oh, yeah.
It was absolutely a very valid concern.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they weren't concerned about, the sexual tension. It was more about, hey, spend more time with me, or have more of an interest in my future. That type of deal.
I think there was even there was one moment where Salma Hayek's character was actually jealous of Tina Fey's character, and was threatening Jack Donaghy. And Tina Fey's like, come on, really? You think he'd be interested in this? And she turns to the side and like sticks out her belly, like in a way that I was just like, how did she do that? Like sticks out her belly, makes herself look pregnant. She's like, come on. And yeah,
Awesome.
anything for the joke. But
That's
what
right.
what do we have next? What's next?
All
next on
right.
the list?
We have Hermione and Harry from Harry Potter.
That's right.
Yeah,
The chosen one.
that's right. Yeah,
The boy who lived,
that's right.
if you will.
Yeah, I like this relationship because, well, I think that it helps that they had Hermione and Ron get together and they were constantly like interested in one another.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of nice to see that the grouping of three friends that were, good friends, and that didn't change even though Hermione and Ron, were interested in one another.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's funny because you normally see the dynamic. Usually it's the three of them and their dynamic, or Ron and Harry, their dynamic. It does. Most people don't recognize the great dynamic that Harry and Hermione actually have, but they do. They have a great
They do.
relationship and friendship, and
More brother sister.
yeah, I think that's the thing is like there's several different kind of tropes when you have opposite sex pairings, and you have the will they or won't they, which we talked about at the top of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You have the purely platonic, and you have this kind of relationship where they're like husband and wife, but they're just not into each other, but they fill those roles.
Yeah.
And then you have something like this one, which is much more brother and sister.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's definitely culminates in one scene where they're in the library and, like Hermione's warning him about some girl that's interested in him. And she says, oh, it's like she's only interested in you because she thinks you're the chosen one. He goes, well, I am the chosen one. And she smacks him over the head with a newspaper. And he goes, right, sorry. It's just funny, that's their relationship.
Yeah, because that's how you treat your brother if they were, getting too cocky or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I like their relationship. I like how they keep each other in check, and she's extremely smart and he relies on her intelligence, and she's only there to support him, and he supports her, and but they still have that really strong relationship with Ron too. Yeah,
they have massive amount of respect for each other, and I think as much as I love the one-on-one dynamic, I do love the three of them together.
Yeah,
and I think everybody
I think you
that
have to
way.
always come back to that.
Yeah There's this moment where the three of them are together, and when they were trying to save Buckbeak, I can never say his name, Buckbeak, and they witness his execution, and the three of them are there, and they're all holding each other. It's not Hermione holding Ron, and then Harry looking off in the distance, not touching, anybody, like he's not an island. It's the three of them together comforting each other.
Yeah.
And I love that physical touch, that physical sign of intimacy without being romantic.
Yeah.
I really love that illustrated on film.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's just nice to see that it wasn't like the third wheel syndrome in that moment. It was the three of them coming together in that moment to comfort each other.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Saved one of my favorites for last. Ron Swanson and Leslie Knope on Parks and Rec.
This is one of our favorite shows of all time.
Yes.
We rewatch the show a lot.
A lot.
Like, I don't know if you guys, and by you guys I mean the listeners, realize that we love watching shows together. We love watching. Well, obviously you guys know that, but as soon as we really only watch three. Like right now, there's only like three shows currently on the air that we watch, and that's House of Cards, Walking Dead, and Bob's Burgers. That's pretty much all we watch, and so we watch stuff that we've already seen before all the time.
Oh yeah.
And Parks and Rec is very much in the rotation. Like as soon as we finish, like we're doing a Gilmore Girls rewatch right now, and as soon as we finish Gilmore Girls, you're gonna turn to me and say, "Okay, what are we gonna watch now? Are we gonna watch That 70s Show all the way through? Are we gonna watch Parks and Rec all the way through?
It's true.
Like you want to watch Mad Men again?
Yeah, I know. That's just who I am. Yeah. Funny story. We were on our honeymoon, and we just actually discovered Parks and Rec on our honeymoon because we got horribly, horribly burned.
horribly sunburned.
Like, could not move. Probably had sun poisoning.
And we just needed to take a break.
Exactly. We were just like, no more sun, no more beach. We have to just lay here and take care of ourselves. Like aloe vera,
Yes.
just sticky mess of aloe vera. It was just terrible.
It was that kind of sunburn where you'd bend your elbow and go, ah!
Your skin's really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, while we were recovering, we had a wonderful honeymoon. Don't get us wrong.
It was a fantastic
It was
honeymoon.
great. It was awesome. But one of the highlights, actually, was kind of funny, is that we watched, I think, almost all of Parks and Rec while we were season 2. Yeah, while we were recovering. I think we started with season 2, if I'm not correct.
I think what happened is that we
watched like 1 or 2 episodes of season 1, I think.
Didn't we watch a few episodes? I think we watched 1 or 2 episodes when it was on air for season 1 because we were fans of The Office, and it didn't grab us whatsoever. And then we were on our honeymoon, and we saw, that season 2 was on Netflix, and we're like, well, let's give it another shot. I mean, season 1 was only 6 episodes. Let's see what the beginning of season 2 does, which is very odd for us.
It is. We don't usually do that
because we're very much completists. And so we started with season 2, and we're like, holy crap, this is funny.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
We were grabbed by it. And I can't remember if we finished season 2 or not, but we made a huge chunk because we were like, we couldn't sleep because we were burned so bad. And so we just watched it all night and then just went comatose in the morning. But one of the things that grabbed us was the relationship between Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love how developed those characters are, and I think we've said it before on podcasts, but I relate very heavily to Leslie Knope and her, like very organized and a little crazy ways. Probably I'm a little more toned down, I would say.
You were very much a toned down version of Leslie Knope, yeah.
Which is probably good for everyone involved. But but I definitely relate to, her organization, all of her binders and color coding everything,
taking notes on everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Overachieving. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Being at way too many things that I should not be doing all at once. Yeah. But Ron Swanson is just we love that character too. It's just, he's so dry. His sense of humor is just so it's just so unique. What a unique character of Ron Swanson.
And for those of you who haven't seen the show, you absolutely should. It's on Netflix right now. You can skip season 1. But if you don't want to skip season 1, realize that it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And it gets
so much better.
Infinitely better once you get to season 2. Like, season 1 was a story of they had no idea what type of show they wanted to be. They were trying to mimic The Office. It wasn't working. And they almost didn't get renewed for a second season. And they saw it as a failed experiment, but then they said, okay, well, we're going to go in this direction. Give us a shot. They gave him a shot, and they succeeded.
Yeah.
But Ron is the head of the Parks and Recreation Department, and Leslie Knope is the assistant director or whatever it's called, but she very much runs the department herself.
Right. He just is kind of there.
He's like a figurehead, but he is very much I don't want to say, he's not a mentor.
Well, and sometimes he is.
I guess he is, because she does kind of say that to him. Like,
yeah.
She does call him that. But
yeah.
I always saw him as kind of like a guidepost, where if she got a little crazy or didn't know what to do, like, I feel like he was much better at giving life advice. Like, when I think of a mentor, I think of I think of business advice, but I know that's wrong. But he was very much a life advice
yeah.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
But they helped each other out. I feel like it very much went both ways.
Yeah, and she knew him very well. Like, I think about his birthday, and she's like kind of teasing him and like saying that she's gonna have like a face painter and streamers and balloons and like do you have enough parking for this many cars? And that is not who he is. And she ends up surprising him with a room alone with a steak dinner and like watching the movie on the River Kwai.
Yeah, like this huge leather chair.
Yes.
And a perfectly made steak.
Yeah, from his favorite restaurant.
And like really old scotch.
Yeah.
And like somebody to drive him home whenever it was finished. And just a big screen TV, just him and a big screen TV and a steak. And every single time we see that episode, I'm like, you're going to do that for me one year, right?
True. Yeah. There's a little Ron Swanson in you. Just a little more of that cynical sometimes.
A
Yeah.
little bit. I am much more like Ben,
Yes. You're kind of a combination.
but I do have a little bit of Ron in
Yeah,
me.
because you're definitely nerdy like Ben.
I'm nerdy like Ben, but I hate people like Ron.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm okay with that. But yeah, like, everybody at home, we really want to hear your list. We want to hear, like, this was just a few of our favorite male-female pairings in cinema and TV, and there's so many more out there, and we would love to hear what you guys have to say.
I'm
Like,
sure we missed some. So
we had to have missed a whole bunch, and
these are just the ones that we were like, oh yeah, we like these.
yeah, we just like sat down and wrote it down real quick, and so you can email us at contact@thenerdparty.com and send us your suggestions on what pairings you liked and why you like them. You can also go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/nerdparty, and you can also find us on Twitter at @joinnerdparty, and make sure to check us out in all these locations because we have 3 great shows on this little network of ours. We have our show, we have the Senate Floor that I host with Matt Hansen as well as Lee Hutchison, which is a general geek podcast. We love our top 5 lists. And we also have a Star Wars podcast called Aggressive Negotiations with John Mills and Matt Rushing, where they kind of talk about the minutia of Star Wars. Like they find a corner of the galaxy and they talk about it. And it's I really like all these shows, and not just because it's on my network, but
Little bias.
Little bias. But one other thing that you should do is you should go to lootcrate.com/nerdparty and enter in the code nerdparty, because from there you can subscribe to a fantastic geek box and save some money. It's a way to help out the network as well as get some swag for yourself. I mean, you're getting about $40+ worth of merchandise for only $20. And if you go to lootcrate.com/nerdparty, enter in code nerdparty, you'll save even more money off of that. Well, that was our show. Thankfully, we are not a platonic male-female pairing.
That's true.
We wouldn't even be a will there, won't they?
No.
We are definitely there. And we're staying there.
That's right. I love you.
I know.